Namaskar. Welcome to Conversations with Rakesh. Here's today's question. Rakesh, I'm slightly confused on how do I find my strengths. I have lots of books, lots of suggestions. I've gone through various videos, including yours, but I still don't know the right path to find my strengths. So, any suggestions and tips of how someone like me who is in the professional world is struggling to find the right fit in my strengths and the job? I think you need a full course to go through this question. There are so many theories and good books. What I thought I'll do is I'll give you my experiential learning. My first book, Plunge, which you see behind me, which is also a podcast. I realized that my job that I was doing and my strengths and my interests were mismatching. So in this video, we're not going to focus on interests. We're going to focus on strengths, skills, expertise, which are very relevant for you to know. And if you align a job with your best strength, your confidence goes up. The problem in our life is that we choose jobs without thinking about these basic things. And when we do a job where our strengths are not aligned, we go through a massive problem. It's mostly on confidence. Imagine I ask you to do something you don't know how to do, but you somehow got the job, which is because of the education system. So you'll feel afraid, anxious, which is very bad for your productivity and your overall health. It's also bad for the company. So a good starting point is match the job, the skills of the job and your strengths and bring it as close as possible. If they're far away, bad for you. So on that note, the focus of my video is professional jobs. In that, without taking into account the interests and meaningful careers and all that, I'm just going to focus on how does one identify the strengths. And while I was researching for this video, today I chanced upon one of my favorite RJs, Shraddha. Her handle is Ayyo Shraddha and her videos are hilarious. I've been watching them for years. I'm one of her fans. And today she did a video, or it could be few days ago, but it came on my social feed today. Today her video looked at an instrument from the kitchen which is used to make only one dish. It's a traditional South Indian breakfast called paddu. I love it. And you kind of, there's a special device to make it. And this instrument is used only to make that thing. You cannot make it so well with anything else. So she kind of, the video is very funny, hilarious, that I hope we are like this special spatula instrument and not like the others in the kitchen which are useless and can be used for everything and nobody even bothers. Somehow that connects with the topic that each of us should know what is our core strength, our core competence. What can we do really well? Like this instrument can make paddu really well. No other instrument can make it. So taking that into account, I'll also give you another example. We look at superhero movies, right? Spider-Man, Incredibles, Avengers. Everybody has a super strength. That's very important. A super skill. And if we align our fighting patterns to our best skill, you'll be a good super thing. So I'm going to tell you a very simple process of how you can narrow down in this vast discussion. How do you identify your strengths? There are 4 steps, and the 4 steps are very, very simple. The first step is, which I think many of us don't do, is that we don't explore the entire strengths that are available to us. Our friends are very narrow. The kind of people we connect with are very narrow. The kind of systems we study is very narrow. So we don't explore so many things available to us. And this is where I want you to read, listen through podcasts and books and interviews, that how did these people identify their strengths? And they'll talk about it. Some people say that I knew that I had this strength. Very rare but possible. Some people said that I stumbled into it and I figured it out. Some people said that I still don't know, but right now this is my strength. So you now explore, broaden your minds. There are podcasts and movies and books dedicated on that. One of my favorite series that used to come on television, which I think now is a podcast, is called Dirty Jobs. And in this series, this host would research all kinds of jobs that are there in the market, and they're dirty, like ridiculous. You have to work in a factory, you have to work in a boiler, you have to work in a farm and clean up things. And he would say that you must not ignore these jobs. There are special jobs, they're skilled jobs, and they pay very well. It's just that they're dirty. So don't make up your mind on just that, which is like, judging a book by the cover. And it was a brilliant series that I really enjoyed. So explore. And maybe you have the strengths and skills to do those jobs who pay really well. The tragedy is that there are many such jobs available, but many people make up their minds because of ignorance. So explore and expose yourself to know what are the various strengths available to you that others demonstrate, so that you can start connecting with all these topics of strength. So that is step number 1, explore or expose. Step number 2, once your funnel of exploration, exposure, that you start to know that, okay, there are so many strengths, these terms make sense to me. The second is very important. You have to experiment. You have to take up small projects to start connecting that, do I have that strength? Do I like this? What did I learn from it? And this is where internships, apprenticeship, or just volunteering becomes a very good process for all of us. So let's say you're on a job, you're in a company. In your company, there will be some project where somebody will say, hey, I need some help. Raise your hand and say, I'll give it to you. But you are now experimenting, and in that you will connect with the job. You will understand that are your strengths connected with that job? Is some other feedback coming out of it? And it's an amazing way to really experiment different strengths and aligning it with what you like to do. So that second step is experiment. I can tell you, and I work with so many professionals, managers, students, we really don't experiment. Many of us go to a college, the first job, that's it, no experimentation. And then the track becomes very narrow. Very few people experiment, they take things as they come because it is risky also. Now there is no right and wrong, to each their own. Some people experiment, which is why their careers take a broader view, and there are very good books on that. You may want to look at it separately. So experiment. First is explore, second is experiment. Take up projects, internship, assignments, apprenticeship, and do something about it. Third one, once you have explored and experiment and you're now beginning to get the list in your mind. Third step, my favorite, this is how I built my career, elimination. I can't tell you the merit of eliminating things you don't want to do. When I was younger, by the way, I'm still younger, jokes aside, I still do it. There are certain things that I cannot do. I don't have the strengths. Like for example, if I take the basic strengths of intelligences, that there are, let's say 9, 10, 12 intelligences, I know that I'm not a person who has physical intelligence. I can't dance, I can't move my body, I'm like 3 feet, terrible in my movements. So anything that requires me to do my body related intelligence, I cannot do. So I'm not going to do it. So I eliminate it. कोई मतलब फ़ायदा ही नहीं है उसमें डिस्कस करने का. नाउ डीप इनसाइड वन में थिंक कि नहीं हम वो भी करेंगे. माई माइंड सेज कि यार जब स्ट्रेंथ ही नहीं है, भगवान ने दिया ही नहीं है, क्यों मगजमारी करना. सो आई हैव नो एम्बिशंस टू बिकम अ ग्रेट परफॉर्मर, डांसर, पर्सन हु एक्सरसाइजेज. मैं तो आई एम अ लेजी काउच पटेटो, मैं तो स्पोर्ट्स पे नहीं खेलता. सो आई हैव नो एम्बिशंस टू प्ले एंड बिकम अ ग्रेट एथलीट. Anything that my strength doesn't allow me, मैं करता ही नहीं हूँ. This is helped me a lot. So eliminate. Many of us are very bad with math. तो क्यों mathematics की jobs करो? Some of us can be very good with languages. तो आप languages की job करिए. I think the problem is कि हम लोग इन चीज़ों को सोचते नहीं हैं. So eliminate things that are not your strengths. वो list narrow हो जाती है. 50 strengths हैं market में, explore कर लिया, experiment कर लिया. एलिमिनेशन राउंड के पास बाद 5 स्ट्रेंथ्स बची, विच इज ईजियर फॉर माई माइंड टू अंडरस्टैंड. सो आई बिल्ट माई करियर एंड आई स्टिल डू माई करियर डिसीजंस ऑन माई स्ट्रेंथ्स. इवन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, आई डिसाइडेड टू बी एन एंटरप्रेन्योर ऑन माई स्ट्रेंथ्स. जो मेरे स्ट्रेंथ्स में था ही नहीं, मैंने उनको निकाल दिया And I could have done many other entrepreneurship ideas, but I chose School of Meaningful Experiences because it connects with my strengths of teaching communication skills. So elimination is most important. And the last one, fourth one, my favorite. I think now that your list is eliminated, it has become narrow. Now choose something that excites you. And the word excitement has to taken with the right emotion, जिसमें मज़ा आए. मतलब काम करने की इच्छा हो, सुबह उठ के लगे कि आज ये करेंगे. That is excitement. So the final way of understanding your strength is do something that excites you. और अगर अगले दिन the same excitement come or increases, you're on the right track. अब उसमें से पैसा निकलेगा, आप सक्सेसफुल बनोगे, नोबेल प्राइज मिलेगा, फोर्ब्स 30 अंडर 30 या 900 अंडर 900 में जाओगे, दैट इज इममटीरियल. बट दिस इज हाउ यू कैन लेवरेज योर स्ट्रेंथ्स and do something about it for your career. So let me summarize the 4 steps you can use to find your strengths. Step number 1, explore and expose yourself. Meet people, talk about strengths. आपके पास क्या strengths हैं, कैसे आपको पता पड़ा, books पढ़ो, podcast सुनो. Second, experiment. Internship कर लो, छोटा सा project कर लो, volunteer कर लो, सीखो. And understand that did you have the strengths to do that? And are some new strengths emerging? So that is the second one, experiment. Third is elimination. Things that don't connect with you, निकाल दो उनको बाहर. Eliminate. Make the list narrow. And the fourth is, from that narrow list, choose something that excites you. And this is how at least I have been benefited. I hope using this simple framework of 4 E's, you are able to find your strengths. And the most important is connect this to the job at hand. And if you can, great. If you can't, don't worry. It's a process. You can always keep working on it and bridging that gap between strengths and jobs so that you can have a meaningful career. So on that note, start working on finding your strengths and see if you can align it to a job and impact the world positively. Stay safe.